Hello folks, and welcome to this edition of BC Renovation Magazine. So in this video I'm going to talk about the HVAC systems in mobile homes. Most mobile homes, when they come from the factory, they don't really have a complete HVAC system. Generally speaking, they are shipped from the factory with just a heating system. So that kind of leaves the people, the owners, to whoever buys the home afterwards to, kind of finish things off and put their own air conditioning system in. And you'll see a lot of people will use, one or two or three window air conditioners. That's not a great way to try and air condition one of these things. Because of the way they're built, they're generally quite long, and it's really hard to get the air to circulate. So when we do these projects, we buy these homes that are 25, 30 years old, and so generally speaking, the heating systems in them are kind of at the end of their life anyway. So what we do is we take the old system out and we put in a brand new system. So the only thing that we keep of the old stuff is the ductwork, and the ductwork is all underneath the floor, basically. So I'll just explain to you kind of how heating system works in a mobile home. So this is the furnace, and generally the furnace kind of sits in a hallway or someplace kind of exposed. You can see it's here. It's kind of in this back entrance hallway where we have the back door, and generally speaking, there's two brands that are used in mobile homes, and the main one around here is Intertherm, and quite often you'll see Intertherm brand equipment in mobile homes. Another one that kind of goes with the Intertherm is Nordyne. So you can sometimes see Nordyne. You'll see Nordyne cooling with the Intertherm heating. So these basically these systems are shipped. It's a 80% efficient. And back in the day, back in the early 90s, that was quite efficient furnace. It's still not bad, even by today's standards. But in this particular home, we really wanted to kind of upgrade this system and go to a more efficient system, get something up around 90%. The problem that we ran into with that was the depth of the alcove here for the furnace. So we have a 24-inch deep alcove, and you can see that kind of on the side of the wall here. And everything that's energy efficient, more efficient than the 80% these days, is basically 30 inches deep, and so that really limits you to your selection. Another thing that we kind of discovered is that the new equipment that's not mobile home rated. So if you get into like a for example, a Carrier brand or a Lennox or any of those, those aren't certified for use in a mobile home. So in a mobile home, you have ductwork that is sized differently than a house. And so basically this works is the top of the furnace here, behind this grill, this is where the air is intaked. So there's no ducted system like that brings or return air to here. It just basically comes, draws it from the whole mobile home, and it comes into the top here, and it goes down through the furnace, and it goes down into the heat exchanger where the air is heated, and then it continues down through. In this particular case, we have a coil for a air conditioner down there, and the furnace is sitting on top of a hole. There's a hole underneath there that connects it to a rectangular duct, which is basically a 6 by 16 roughly duct. That duct runs the entire length of the mobile home from the front to the back, and then from that main duct you will get branch ducts, and here you can see here's a branch duct here, so that will go perpendicular over and tie into the main duct, which is underneath the floor joist and runs in the belly of the mobile home. These branch ducts are usually 4 inch. So compare that to a house. Generally, your branch runs are 6 and 8 inch, depending on the layout. So it really is difficult to try and get something that's different in these older homes and still have it to be certified. So like I said, the Lennox and Carrier and those kind of brands, they don't have uh, furnaces that are rated for a mobile home application. What can happen with that then is that you can end up overheating your ducts because the ducts are smaller. Actually creates a fire hazard. So especially with us where we are flipping these homes, we have to be very careful about that. We don't want to create a problem. So, with the combination of not being able to have anything to fit into this alcove, which is 24 inches, we'd had to come out, another 6 inches here to make it fit. And you can see, we wouldn't want to do that because of this hallway here. Also, that wall behind there is a plumbing wall. So you can see we've got plumbing in here for the laundry set that's going to be here. On the other side of this wall is a bathroom. So like right behind the furnace we have a shower and there's a toilet there. And again, on the other side we're kind of in a squeeze there for space as well. So the system that we ended up going with is we went with a Coleman furnace. And so Coleman is another brand that kind of works in mobile homes. So this particular one is rated for a mobile home. It has that mobile home rating. Very similar in design to the Intertherm and the Nordyne. So it's a downdraft. It draws through, pushes down through the furnace. And Coleman had a air conditioning option, which this home we put central air conditioning in it to get rid of the window air conditioners. And so the Coleman would have had this piece of equipment down here, which is the A coil, built in with the furnace. So it would have been behind a finished cabinet. My HVAC contractor, what we did was, he had his suggestion, is we mated the Coleman furnace with a Payne air conditioner. And so now this is a split system. The air conditioning is a split system. So on the inside we have this A coil down here, which is what actually cools the air as it's flowing through. And you can see down here we have some pipes. So that small copper one at the top there is a high pressure line, and the insulated one below it is that black one is the low pressure. So that's what's called the line set. Those two lines go outside and they connect to the condenser outside. And so it's just basically a continuous loop between this A coil and the condenser outside. And I'll take you outside and show you the condenser. The that white tubing, that line there you see is a drain for the condensate for the air conditioner. So as air is cooled, it creates moisture, and so that has to be taken care of. So that just goes down through the floor and out the bottom of the mobile home. So down here we have the gas line, and you can see that little red valve there. That's for the this is a natural gas furnace in here. So by doing this hybrid thing here, kind of, it's not really a hybrid, but just we using the two brands, what that did for us is saved us about $1,000. So we've had this system installed for a while. We've been using it. We use it a little bit to cool in the summertime, and it works really well. So now to finish this, once we get done, we'll be putting a little panel on here that's going to cover that, and we'll just tuck right up underneath that white shroud there. Okay, so now here we have the covers off of the furnace, and there's the covers there, and you can see that on the inside of the cover there's filters, and so those filters have to be changed. These particular filters are disposable, so when they get dirty then you just throw them away. But this is how it looks on the inside of the furnace, and so just kind of from the top down, there's that's the blower or the fan, this thing right here, and this is an air intake. So it's a closed combustion system, And the vent for this furnace is it's called a concentric vent, and so the air for combustion is drawn from the outside, around the outside of the chimney, and then the exhaust gases go up through the middle of the chimney. So I'll take you up on the roof and give you a look at that. But the air basically comes down through that pipe, and then it goes into the firebox, or the heat exchanger, which is in here. This is where the fire is. You can see this is a gas valve. It's connected to that gas line. So very simple. This is there's just one blower in there, one burner, and it just kind of blows in there, and it's very simple. Compared to different brands, it's just really not a lot going on here. This little thing here is a control box. It's the brain box, basically. We've got some proofing switches there and some limit switches, but it's just very, very simple. So as part of the replacing the system, we also replaced the vent on the top. This furnace is all new, and all the air conditioning components are new. And we also put a new thermostat. And so this is a Honeywell T6 Pro Series. This is a programmable thermostat, and it illuminates. So at night you can, if you want to adjust it in low light, you can see it the panel. So this system cost us about 6,000 Canadian dollars for everything. So that's a heating and central air. If you were just to replace the furnace alone, you're looking at about a $4,000 cost. Just to replace it with this, this similar type of a furnace. This efficiency, this level of efficiency. So, long term, not much to go wrong with these. Very simple, not a lot of electronics. I just put a new system in my house where I live, and that was a $10,000 system. Two-stage furnace, piles of electronics, all kinds of stuff going on with that one. And I don't know, we'll see. I have a feeling that that's going to be expensive to maintain. Alright, so I'll take you outside now and give you a look at the condenser. Okay, here we have the condenser for the air conditioning part of the system, and this is the part that sits outside. So this is basically connected to that A coil that sits underneath the furnace, and the two are connected together with these two pipes here. There you can see that copper one, and then you see the black insulated one. So those just come from that coil inside and come into the condenser unit here. So the refrigerant just basically does a loop, comes out here to get rid of the heat. The refrigerant is cooled, goes back into the mobile home, and there the coolness of the refrigerant is taken out, and it just keeps going round and round. This little can thing here is a dryer, filter kind of a thing to help keep the refrigerant clean. And this little box here, this is the disconnect for the electrical. So the electrical goes down inside of that gray pipe there. Let's see if I can get this open. And so here you can just see this is the disconnect here. So anytime that the unit is being serviced, they will just disconnect the power here, so there's no danger of getting electrocuted. Okay, so I'll take you up on the roof now and give you a look at the vent. Okay, so this is the new vent. Some people will call this a chimney, but chimney is actually a term for a wood burning device. And so this is the concentric chimney. So what that means is it takes air in and it also exhausts. So that wider section of the hood on the bottom there, in the midsection, you can see the pipe below that is bigger. air is drawn through that shroud and then into that bigger section of the pipe. It's drawn down through that tube that I showed you into the combustion chamber of the furnace, where it's used to burn the gas, and then the exhaust gases, the burnt exhaust gases, come up through the center part, through that smaller pipe, and then exit through that top hood there. So there you go, folks. That's our new HVAC system. HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. That's an acronym for that. And so basically, we added the central air conditioning. This home didn't have any central air conditioning before. They were using 2 window air conditioners in here, and yeah, that didn't do a very good job. Very noisy. And so we've put central air conditioning in now, so the air conditioning system puts cold air into every room through the ducts, and just kind of it's a modern version of kind of what was here as far as the heating goes. So thanks for watching, folks. See you on the next video.